I want to talk to you about communications in Star Wars. When it comes to the battlefield, communications is one of the key elements that's going to decide victory or defeat. It's so important because communication allows you to
Coordinate.
with your allies. That
Coordinate.
allows you to strategize,
allows
to
you to-
adapt to the enemy and the changing situation. It gives you battle space awareness. You can update your allies on what the enemy's doing, what they're moving. You might have a line of sight that they don't, so you can see things they can't. Also, if there's a surprise attack, it allows you to alert everyone in the quadrant, hey, high alert, things are going down. Communications are key for succeeding in battle. One of the interesting things about how Star Wars handles communications is, in most cases, in space battles, you see audio only communications. You see starfighter pilots. You see small capital ship pilots. You can see sometimes Star Destroyer captains communicating through audio only. Now, I have some thoughts as to why that is. There are some good reasons for this. If you're flying an X-Wing and you got a TIE fighter behind you, you don't want to be trying to video chat with your buddy. It's hard enough not getting killed out there without having to worry about how you look at that angle. You want your entire crew focused on what they're doing. You don't want them distracted. You don't want them looking at who's saying what to who. You just want them visually focused on what's on their screen, doing their job. Also, technically speaking, it makes a lot of sense to send only audio in these large space battles. Video is very large. So if you're going to try to compress that, encrypt it so no one else can read it, and send it across the battlefield, you're going to have a lot of problems. That's a big package to be delivering. It's going to take up a lot of bandwidth. There's going to be a lot of signals bouncing around. You want to keep that signal and what you're sending small and tight. It's easier to encrypt, easier to decrypt. Now, to contrast that, we also see the use of holograms in Star Wars. It's interesting because you don't really see holograms used as much in other sci-fi franchises. In Star Wars, when you see someone on hologram, typically they're not flying a ship, they're not commanding a ship. And I think this allows them to give their full focus to the message, to being on camera. You see it a lot in diplomatic messages, which makes sense because if you're trying to build rapport, you want full open communication and open transparency with the other party. On the few occasions we've seen the military using holograms, typically you only see them. This is advantageous for them because they're not giving away extra information. You're not seeing the bridge layout. You're not seeing if there's damage on the ship. You're not seeing the crew and seeing whether they're scared, they're frightened, they're tired. All you see is the person delivering the message. So you're not giving away extra information. Other franchises, you often see the use of full video, and you can sometimes they even show the bridge. They show damage. They show wounded personnel there. Giving away that much information to the other side is dangerous. It can allow them to have a better understanding of how you're doing in the fight, your willingness to fight, your ability. As far as the technical end of these holograms go, it's interesting. They're very grainy. Often they're small, and usually they have a blue tint. Now, I have a couple theories as to why. One, I think they're grainy because I think they're trying to compress these files and keep it small so they can transmit it quickly. Video contains a lot of information. And when it comes to 3D video, that is a ton of information. So you're going to be sending a huge package if you're sending full res. Or if you're sending a low res hologram, it's a much smaller package, much smaller chance it's going to get noticed or intercepted. I think another reason for the low quality of these holograms is the quality of the lens. Now, there's a couple different ways that holograms are created here. One is they take a 2D image and they trick the viewer into thinking they see 3D by working with depth of perception, moving lights around. That saves file size. It becomes a much less complex technical problem. The downside is different species might see those images differently, so it would be very hard to make one file format for a hologram work across all species. So what they're going to need to do then is create a true 3D hologram. To create a true 3D image that you see in Star Wars, such as when R2-D2 is projecting Princess Leia, that's going to be difficult. With a single projector, it would be very hard to create a true 3D image. It appears they are sending a beam of light that is traveling a specific distance and stopping. How they accomplish this 3D image is an interesting question. It appears they're using a single projector and projecting a light beam a certain distance and then having it stop. Because typically a laser will go on until it breaks up and dissipates. And it appears with such as when R2-D2 is giving the projection of Leia, they're able to determine a stopping point for each point of light, for each pixel. Now, we currently don't have the technology to do that. It would be awesome if we did. It might be some Star Wars magic going on when they're doing this. So what do you think about the holograms in Star Wars? Tell me below in the comments. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. And come back every week for more from Are You Bacon? May the Force be with you.